Hi and welcome to my channel. Today we are going to do the awesome in the hoop, one hooping, the reusable straw case. Yes, the snap reusable straw case. I happen to use fun colors, fun things. It holds 2 straws and it holds the cleaner. I'm sure it'll hold another straw or 2, straight straw. Snaps, closes. The inside has a felt lining on both sides, so that it protects the straw. You can leave one of the linings out if you want, if you prefer, and the customer is okay with using the back of the vinyl. So I'm going to show you in the multi-needle machine with the larger hoop. I have the 11 by 8 hoop, so I'm able to get 3 actually in that 8-inch hoop. I'm sure with your 6 by 10 you can actually get 2 of them in that hoop, so just follow the way that I've done it and you'll be able to do it. So remember to subscribe, like that, thumbs up, and we'll meet you in a few minutes and show you how to sew it. Alright, these are the materials we're going to need and the sizes. This is for our reusable straw case out of vinyl, and this will be the vinyl case, so there's no turning or anything. So we've got the 2.5 inches wide on all our pieces. And our vinyl, we've got a 10.5 inch piece, and we've got an 8 3/4 inch. And then the same thing with our felt, the 10.5 inch piece, and the 8 3/4 piece. Our hoop with a tearaway stabilizer, and we have our straw set, and we have 1 set of snaps. And when we put it into the hoop, you'll see the pocket here. I will actually line it up, and I'm going to have a nice straight top edge, and I'm going to actually probably tacky spray this together so it stays together in the hoop and the whole deal. I'm going to tacky spray it together. So there won't be an edge up here to cut the 2, so they may separate. Just an FYI on that one, that's why I'm going to tacky spray it together. So we're all set. Got our straws, and then I've also going to do 3 in 1 hoop to utilize my hoop space and my stabilizer, because this piece here is only about 23 cents for the size that I have of here of stabilizer. So I'm going to utilize that, and I've actually cut 2 more sets to go ahead and use. I'll meet you at the sewing machine. Alright, we're ready to go. We have our little directions, which pretty easy, kind of don't need them. So I have the pattern set in the machine. I'll put my other pieces aside. I'm going to do the red one. So I set 2 of the pieces aside. What I'm going to do is go ahead and put it in the machine, and we're going to stitch out first our placement stitch. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to attach my longer pieces, the 10.5 inch pieces. I have a top and the bottom. I'm going to tacky spray them to attach them. Do my bottom first and line it up. Flip it over, press, and I will attach my top piece here. Line up my sides, make sure I'm in the center. Go, tap down. We'll go ahead and put it back in the machine. Making sure when we put it back in that nothing lifted, nothing came up. The tacky spray that I use is the Aleene's tacky spray. Just a quick 1 swipe down it. I have a little spray booth underneath my machine here, so, and I do have air in here, so just a quick spray. It's good in my booth, don't worry. And we'll go ahead and stitch out the tack down. We're going to stitch out a fold line. We're going to stitch out our placement for our snap, and then there'll be 2 marks on where we're going to put our pocket. Take it out of our hoop. Everything's sewed our little pocket. That's going to be our flap line to help it fold. Our marking, it didn't fully sew on my machine, but we have the marking for where to put our snap. And then it gave us a slight guideline of where we're going to put our pocket. And that we'll actually see on the back side. I'm going to trim a little bit before I get the rest going. And how I do some of my trimming. And I use my handy lighter just to keep those ends from sticking out. And you want to be quick. You don't want to do fast or slow on the felt because it will melt your felt. So be careful. It's just a quick to get the singeing of my threads. Okay. And this is where I'm going to place my my label, my little signature tag. And then I'm going to glue a little bit of tacky spray on my vinyl, and I'm going to line up my straight edge of my felt with the top part straight of my vinyl. There we go. So I've made sure that my felt is tacked to my my vinyl piece. This I'm going to place on the back side of the hoop. So this is the back of the hoop. And there were little marks, but we really don't need the marks. You don't have to have them. You just kind of know where to place it. It's about 1/4 of an inch below that fold line is where it's going to go. So we're about 1/4 of an inch below the fold line. We're going to make sure everything's even, right where it needs to go in between all the threads. Make sure that it's upright. And we're going to tape it. Tape my corners. Make sure. And I like to tape where the edge is just so they don't get caught on the foot lightly. And then when you flip it over real quick, then you're going to push down and make sure everything's tacked down with your tape. And it's secure. So this is the hard part, to keep an eye on it. You're about to stitch through 2 pieces of felt and 2 pieces of vinyl, so it may be a little thick on your machine. So keep an eye on that as you're doing it. It may not be for your machine. I hope it is though. It'll be a great project for you. So we're going to put it back in the machine. And as we're doing it, we're going to lift it up so it doesn't get caught on the foot or the pressure plate. And we want to make sure, as we look at it, that everything slid in correctly. And I will do our last stitch, which is going to be the final stitch to hold everything down. Very quick and easy. It shows on my machine the stitching time is actually 3 minutes. Here we go. Perfect. Alright, we're all set with this one. And I actually am going to get 3 in this hoop. I did this one in the center first. That way I know it's all going to fit. Take my tape off. I don't want to run into those on the next one I lay down. So I'll show you really quick, and then I'll speed everything up for you so you don't have to be all bored with it. But I'll at least show you how I placed one to start. And we'll do all the rest of those threads when we pull it out. So we're all set. That one's good. You don't have to use a second piece of felt inside if you don't want to. I just thought putting a reusable straw in there, you may want the felt on both sides of your straw instead of on the vinyl, but it's up to you. It's just that there's not going to be a sewn edge. That's why I glued it. Alright, so what I'm doing is leaving this one in my actual machine. What I'm doing is I'm going to move my pattern all the way to the bottom, and that's going to sew on this end, and then when I'm done here, I'm going to move it all the way up to the top. The reason why I didn't do all three at the same time is because of placement, wanting to make sure nothing's going to shift and hit when you add that pocket on the bottom and all the taping and stuff. So I do one at a time. Like I said, it's a quick stitch out. And I'm going to do brown now, so I'll make sure I'm changing my bobbin thread to a brown or a black. Perfect, so that's how we got 3 in our hoop. Did the center one first, then I moved my pattern inside my machine all the way to one side, then I moved the pattern all the way to the other side, or you can flip your hoop either way so that it gets on each side. Do your center one first, so then you can guide to make sure that each side will accept it. I pushed it all the way to one end, so I have this piece of stabilizer that I can save, use for floating. It's a big enough piece to save. Instead of putting everything smack in the middle, I move things over to help utilize and, you know, save money by being able to have bigger pieces of stabilizer left over. So I'm going to take off the tape. I will meet you at the cutting table. Okay, we're all set to take it out of our hoop. Make sure everything was okay on the back side. I took my tape off, everything was there, and we're going to tear it out. Okay, we'll start with the pink one. And I'm going to take my straight ruler. This is one of my favorite ones because each little line is marked off really well with 1/8 of an inch, because I like to cut everything close and to 1/8 of an inch. 1/4 of an inch to me I think is a little too wide, sticking out past your sewing mark. So I'm going to cut my straight edges with the straight ruler, and then I'll take the scissors and cut my rounded edge. Take our scissors for the rest. Alright, we're all set on that part. Everything's good. I'm going to trim my threads. I have little threads hanging. Right. Very quick on the felt. The felt will burn, it will singe, it's acrylic, so it's like plastic. You just want to go really quick just to get your threads. Do not hold it on your felt. Right? I'm gonna do the same thing like I did on the fabric one, if you happen to see that one. I'm going to do my hole first on my flap. I'm going to insert the cap. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert the pieces that will be with it or included or what they're going to be putting in it. And then I'm going to fold it down with the bulk. You always measure with the item inside your pocket. That way you know where the flap will be comfortable at closing. If you do it while it's laying flat, then what's going to happen is your snap's going to be lower and you're going to have a hard time trying to close it with the bulk of the item inside your case. So always put the item in your case that you're going to be using it for. Excuse me. Fold it down. Find out where that comfortable spot is in case they want to put another straw in here. You want to give a little bit of wiggle room. I'm going to push down a little bit, and that's going to give me a mark as to where I'm going to put my snap. So I'm going to start the hole. I'm going to get rid of the products inside. And with this case, I did the felt on both sides, and you'll see that it's because it makes it lined inside. So you can leave one side of the felt out if you want, if you feel comfortable with just the piece of vinyl and your customer is going to be okay with that vinyl, or if they want felt on both sides for their straw. So I poked my hole, and I'm going to insert the cap on the bottom as well. Poke it through the hole. Okay, I have my table press, which is mounted on a stool for me. So I'm going to use my table press first for the top. There we go. And then I'm going to go ahead and use the hand press for the bottom since I can't get this into my table press pocket. So you kind of need both hand press and I use the table for leverage to push down. Give it enough squeeze on it. Everything looks good inside. It squeezed perfectly. I get rough with it, making sure that the snap is going to close, open. No problems. Perfect. And put the straw inside there. And it closed perfectly. All set. So this is the vinyl version of the reusable straw case with snap tabs. Looks good. So I'm going to do the other two, put snaps on them, and we'll be good. I'll have 3 that I've done in one hooping, so we're good. If you enjoyed what you saw, give me a good thumbs up. Any comments, they're great to hear. If you have any suggestions, recommendations, or anything else you'd like to watch me do, subscribe would be great, and ring that bell. That way you'll get notifications and information on the next videos I do. So this is the vinyl version of the reusable straw case. And just to give you an idea, I did on the other one as well. I'll give it to you on this one. The cost, what it cost me to make this, not including the straw, is about $1.97, and that's on the high side. So that is it. You know, some vinyls are a little less expensive, and I'll probably do a video on that one for you guys too, is how I break things down and how I figure my pricing on things. So we'll see you next time. Meet you at the cutting table.